Hello, my name is Kevin Brannon. I am the founder of the Real Angler Network. I never had anybody to take me out fishing. I'd go to the pier, my brother would take me fishing. He was my mentor. He was the first one to take me out, a male role model in my life. And he would take me to the pier and we would fish, or we'd fish in the Bubbling Springs Creek. Again, since I was about 7, 8 years old, started fishing there. And I would walk down to Port Hueneme sport fishing, and they would kick me off the dock every day for hanging out until they finally gave me a job working on a boat. And I was about like 11 or 12 years old. And again, that's when I really started to really find a passion for fishing and teaching and being out on the water. My mom always knew I was safe if I was on the water versus being in the streets of South Oxnard and Port Hueneme and the things that go on around here. And also get a chance to show my kids what stewardship looked like and look what volunteerism looked like, because if we're not helping our community, who's gonna? So I found a need and we started taking kids out fishing. A lot of at-risk organizations that I intentionally go out and find and make sure that they come out and fish and experience what they might not get a chance to do, but also a chance for me to tell my story. Like, I grew up the same way some of these kids did. I understand where they're coming from. I'm not a caseworker. I'm gonna start crying. Whew, hold on. Whew. It's pretty good. Whew. Hold on. Whew. I haven't talked about this in a while. I heard about Goodwill Industries, years ago. And I remember when I had to get back into the workforce because I couldn't pay all my bills as a filmmaker when I tried to go independent and do this and do a nonprofit. I had to go to Goodwill and get some new gear. The job that I have tattoos. I had to get something that covered my sleeves up, and I didn't have a lot of money. So I had to go down to Goodwill and get some hand-me-downs, and I ended up spending about, 30, 50 bucks. And I was able to show up at a job where I had to be dressed up and tuck in the shirt and get my slacks. And I was able to utilize that resource to where now I'm at a Chamber of Commerce breakfast introducing our nonprofit, and somebody comes up and says, hey, we have some interns that we'd love to come and work with you. We know you do digital video and some things like that in your leadership and what your mission is. And we think we have a very similar mission, and we like to bring some staff down there and see if you could get them some work placement. So it went from myself purchasing clothes to get back on my feet to now being able, again, in the community to open our doors up and have a community partnership with Goodwill as I'm able to teach these kids, whether it's about fishing, entrepreneurship, anything is possible, but the development that has been poured into me over my 13, 15 years of doing this, I feel like it's my obligation to give that back. So working with Goodwill, with these young kids, I'm able to share my story, give them a platform, but also give them the opportunity to be creative and imaginative as the development of our own brand and program. So that's a great fit, again, for the community with us and the Goodwill.
What Kevin received as a partner was referrals of 2 work experience candidates that would meet his business needs and be able to perform job tasks to enhance his business. I have seen participants have success in being able to become active members of their community. I have seen self-esteem in our participants raise tremendously. I have seen individuals who have doubted themselves, doubted their worth, turn around and become confident individuals and confident members of this community through Goodwill programs.
It's like a flower. As long as you just keep fertilizing it and watering it and giving it some sunshine, you're gonna harvest, something's gonna come out nice, and that's our approach. And again, we're having a pretty good harvest season right now. I'm thankful for the Goodwill team for seeing a Port Hueneme kid coming in as an entrepreneur, as a vessel to bring their participants or their employees to come in and faithfully for us to come in and mentor them and to give them job placement skills. And that's a great feeling as a youth growing up the way I did, for them to entrust us with our integrity that we built in the community. So besides just the human resource aspect of us growing, like I just mentioned, what that does for my confidence of anything is possible, going to mixers, going to stuff. So they've actually put something into me that's almost undescribable with words. It has less to do with, again, the human resource and the activity versus the responsibility that they trust us to be a great place for them to send employees. Goodwill means to me, again, community, right? When you say, hey, I'm gonna go down to the Goodwill and look for something, you know that it's a thrift store, right? But when I walk in the Goodwill myself and know that they're putting people to work and that they're a community program and I have a shot and opportunity to do that, and where they set the bar and the standard as far as helping people get back on their feet, giving them a job that they need. I've been in that situation, you know? So to me, it does mean something to me. I just dropped clothes off the other day telling the guy a testimonial of, look, man, these are some good gear. Again, maybe somebody's gonna come in like I did years ago and need some new gear because they gotta get back into the workforce, whether you're getting out of prison in this area, you were homeless or on drugs, you need a job. I think they're one of the ones that set the standard for getting back on your feet. You know, I come from that background. So what it means to me is, yeah, it's a place where you could start and the sky's the limit, you know? As long as you start putting your feet forward, they're gonna work with you and make it manageable to do so. So whether, again, it's from the retail side of people in the community making a purchase like myself to look good for a job, or the people that work for them that are helping kids find jobs like we are, or even their staff that is working there at the facility that, again, this might be their entry-level position back into the workforce to be productive in the rest of their life. So if we're partnering with them, again, we feel obligated to carry that torch just like they do.
Employers have benefited through our Goodwill programs because we're able to provide with them employees who want to work for them, are pre-screened, pre-vetted, and very often pre-trained. That takes away a lot of the cost of training. That takes away a lot of the uncertainty of hiring the right person for their jobs.
If you're a business that's hesitant for some reason for them to come in and work with you, I would ask yourself why. If you're a business owner and you've been an employee and you had an opportunity to work for maybe a company or organization where you thought, you know, the culture here, I wish it was different, and you get a chance to embrace that nowadays, or you can make somebody better, you could pour into somebody. It's not just the dollars and the bottom line of a business. It's how you're impacting people, how they leave you after they, you know, do you make them better when you leave? So it's a challenge. And knowing that, again, you're helping an organization that's doing great things in the community, but it also helps you, whether it's, you know, they're gonna cover the bill, so that's gonna help you out as far as how much money you got going out, but it also makes you better as a business owner, knowing that you get opportunity to work within a community of people that you could make better to the next level, you know, depending on their background. Like, you could really help change somebody's life, you know, in some small way. And at the end of the day, when we die, you know, don't you want to know that you've helped some humanity and mankind out here? And again, the smallest gestures of believing in somebody and giving them an opportunity that we've all needed in our life, man, here's your shot right here.